right, level 3 infinity. We are going to see how can I use my calculator to get my formula for the nth term. So we have a couple different ways that we write the formula for the nth term. The one you're really familiar with, which is f of x equals mx plus b. Or the new notation with regard to sequences, which is dn plus a sub 0. So something to note, slope and your common difference are the same thing, and the b value and your a sub 0 are the same thing. Okay, so it's the same formula, you just have different letters that we're putting in those places. So we've done this before in our last unit, so let's remind ourselves. We have calculator steps for how to do this. We're going to write the steps down, and then we're going to practice them. So make sure you're writing what I write. The first thing after you do home, new document, don't save, we're going to add a calculator. Okay, even if you're not sure what's happening right now, go ahead and write it down and we'll do it together. After that, we're going to hit menu. We're going to go down to option number 6, which says statistics. We're going to choose option number 1, which is stat calculations. I'm just going to write stat calc for short. And after that, we're going to go down to option number 3, because option number 3 says mx plus b. It actually says linear regression, mx plus b. Remember that linear means a straight line, and regression is us getting the equation of that straight line, and we want it in the form of mx plus b. Right? Now it's going to pop up our little screen. We're going to do braces, remember, and we're going to list all of our x values with commas. We'll go to our y list. We'll use braces. We'll list all of our y values with commas, and then we'll hit OK. All right, so let's try this and see what happens. So our steps are home, new document. Let's see if I can brighten this up a little bit. There we go. New document, don't save, and this is where we start, add a calculator. Our next step is menu, go down to number 6, or I can just hit the number 6. I want my first option, which is stat calculations, or I can hit number 1. And then we want mx plus b, which is the third one. I could also just hit the number 3. All right, here we are. I'm at my list. Oh man, I don't know which are the x's or the y. I'm not sure what to do. Cool. So when we have a sequence, right, we can overlay a table onto our sequence. So if I take my sequence and I draw a table on top, yes, it's important to put the table on top and not on the bottom. Okay. What's up here is going to be our x values, and what's down here is going to be our y values. So my first term is -1. My second term is 8. My third term is 17. And my fourth term is 26. This is now the information that we can put into our calculator to get our formula, and then we can use it to make a prediction. Okay. So again, this is very similar to what we did last unit. So notice that this little bar popped up here. If I start typing right now, I'm going to lose everything. So I'm going to hit the escape button. Okay, that's a little bit better. I want my curly braces. So remember, we do control, yours is yellow, and then we hit close parentheses right there by the 0. And that's going to give us our braces. All right, I want 1, comma, 2, comma, 3, comma, 4. Then I arrow down. If it won't let you arrow down, use the tab button. I need braces again. Control, close parentheses. -1, comma, 8, comma, 17, comma, 26. I want to double check that I have everything I'm supposed to have, which I do. Bink, 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 bink. Go down to OK. If it won't let you arrow down, just use the tab button until you get to OK. Hit OK. Okay. So we have our m value. We have our b value. Fabulous. So if we were going to write this, I'm going to make a little note over here. M was 9, B was negative 10. See that? 9 and negative 10. All right, now I'm going to set my calculator aside for a second. If I'm going to write my equation, right, my M is the same thing as my common difference, and my B value is the same thing as my zero term. So I can write F of N equals 9N minus 10. Okay, if I was going to use this notation, I could also write F of X equals 9X minus 10. It really doesn't matter, but if I chose to put an N here, I need to choose an N here. If I choose an X here, I need to choose an X here, but they're the same, okay, no matter what. So if I want to use that term now to find my missing piece, we know that we just plug it in. So F of 100 means I'm going to take 9 times 100 minus 10. Now hopefully at this point you know this, but if not, I'm going to say it. We don't actually do anything with this, okay? So don't try to type that in your calculator. It's just a notation. It's just telling me what math you're doing. It's telling me that you plugged in a 100. Okay, so don't ever type that part into the calculator. I am going to type in 9 parentheses 100 close parentheses minus 10. So notice I still have this big thing on my screen. That's okay. It doesn't keep me from being able to continue to do math. So 9 parentheses 100 minus 10. I'm going to hit enter. I got 890. Pretty straightforward. We're going to go faster on this next one. Good? I want the formula for the nth term. So I need to label these. If I'm going too fast, feel free to stop. Okay. I am going to start all the way over, so I'm going to go to Home, New Document, Don't Save, Add a Calculator. All right, Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, MX plus B. All right, I need curly braces, so control close parentheses, 1, 2, 3, 4. Arrow down, curly braces, 7, 4.5, 2, negative 0.5. I'm going to make sure they're making mistakes. Good. Oh, see, look, I made a mistake. I put the 0 in the wrong spot. All right. This is why we check. Okay. So my M is negative 2.5 and my B is 9.5. Right there and right there. Yeah. So if I want to write my equation, F of X equals negative 2.5X plus 9.5. Okay. So if I want to find the function at term 50, right? So if I wanted a 50 up here and I want to know what my output will be, I do F of 50. So negative 2.5 times 50 plus 9.5. Remember, we're not going to type this into our calculator. That's just notation, okay? It's like saying Mr. or Mrs. It's not actually your name. All right, so now I'm going to type negative 2.5 parentheses 50 close parentheses plus 9.5. Enter. I got negative 115.5. If I went too fast, feel free to pause or rewind. Last two. Write the formula for the nth term of the arithmetic sequence. A sub 1 is 4 and D equals negative 1.3. So interesting here, they gave us the first term and they gave us the common difference, right? So this is actually our M value, right? Which means the only thing I need is my B value or my zero term. So if I know that my first term is 4 and my common difference is to subtract 1.3, if I want the zero term or my B value, all you have to do is the opposite. So 4 plus 1.3 is actually 5.3. So in this one, I actually don't have to do the calculator. It's faster to do it this way. Okay. I could do the calculator, but I would have to create the full sequence and then go type it all in. So it's interesting to note the calculator is not always the fastest. In this case, I have my m value and I have my b value. So I can write my function as mx plus b. Okay, so sometimes it's interesting to know that just having the knowledge and using it can be faster than the calculator. So if I want f of 50, I'm going to do f of 50 negative 1.3 times 50 plus 5.3. Remember, you're not going to type this in the calculator. Negative 1.3 times 50 plus 5.3 gives me negative 59.7. Okay, last one on a graph. I don't have x or y values, so I'm actually going to have to create those myself. So this point is at negative 1, 1, 2, 3, negative 3. This point is at 0, 0. This point is at 1, positive 3. And this point is at 2, 6. All right. Now this is a pretty straightforward calculator one. So I'm going to go home, new document, don't save, add a calculator. Menu, statistics, stat calculations, mx plus b. Whoops, mx plus b. All right. Control, close parentheses. My x values are negative 1, comma 0, comma 1, comma 2. All right, there we go. And my y values are negative 3, comma 0, comma 3, comma 6. So again, I want to make sure that those are all lined up the way they should be. Go to OK. My m value is 3, and my b value is 0. So m is 3, b is 0. So f of x equals 3x plus 0. Do we really need the plus 0? We don't really. So when I plug it in, f of negative 12 would be 3 times negative 12 plus 0. Remember, we don't type that in. And I really don't need that 0. So negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. Ta-da! Cool, cool. All right, so that's how you use the calculator to find the equation for the nth term.